Normally, I don't showcase vehicles at night. You can see them so much better in the day. It shows off all of the unique signature features. Well, in the case of this car, it's one where the paint is best viewed by night. The wheels don't look as garish, and you're not missing any of the quality. What we have here is a very interesting, very rare vehicle. A 1982 Chrysler Imperial Frank Sinatra edition. Odometer shows 164,000 miles with the little star, so you know it's higher than that. Clock is not even remotely close to correct. Fuel gauge probably hasn't worked since the Clinton administration. She doesn't run the best. I'm still in the process of fine-tuning her, but she does run. And you have to love that digital display. Now, we'll turn on the lights. The pop-up, or not pop-up, concealed headlights reveal themselves. Side marker light, it's missing the crystal. Bustle back, rear end. Side marker lights here aren't working either. I'll get to that soon. But it has a very interesting look. And this is one of those curious cars. Named after singer Frank Sinatra. It's one of, I've read reports of as few as 271 up to as many as 500 of these things were ever made. The difference between a Frank Sinatra edition Imperial, your standard Imperial of the year, ignore the blinking of the aftermarket temperature gauge. It's mounted directly on the manifold next to the thermostat, so it'll blink at the slightest provocation. The only differences between this one and the stock production vehicle is I've removed it and I have it in the house. A cassette box for your Frank Sinatra tapes, and the fact that you could not choose interior or exterior color. You got the same blue as old Blue Eyes' eyes. Yep. And matching blue leather or cloth interior. With this car, hubcaps were standard. Optional at, curiously enough, no additional cost for aluminum wheels. But back in the 80s, aluminum wheels bore the stigma of unreliable and less than trustworthy. So this particular car came with factory steel wheels. I actually picked it up in the process of attempting to locate a set of steel wheels for another Imperial. I have a 1983 that is the exact same exterior color but with dark blue interior. It came with the horrendously garish Ranger wheels that are on this car, as well as a set of truck mud tires, which is part of the reason why this car rides so loud. It's not wholly uncomfortable, but it's not the plush driving experience you would expect of what was a $25,000 offering from a car company that had seen better days and its financial future was hanging in the balance. It is the automotive equivalent of your boss coming over and asking you, "Hey, I heard you have Google Ultron on your computer. Why isn't it installed on every computer?" And then, rather than trying to explain to him what Google Ultron is and how it doesn't really exist, you just kind of go, sure. Because in the era of economy K cars that Iacocca was famous for, this thing stuck out like a sore crystal covered, yeah, literally a crystal hood ornament. There, see, temperature's back to normal. And crystal center wheels, or center of the steering wheel. It would have crystal lights in the running lights, but those always fell out. And the platinum interior, as you can see, is torn up, but I didn't pay hardly anything for it, so I got my money's worth. And I'm hoping you can see under the hood. It's a little 318. Of course you can't. Let me see. Nope, can't turn on the brightness because I don't know how to work my dang phone. Well, it's a 318 that's got on this one an Edelbrock intake and carburetor. It actually gives it a little bit of power as I demonstrated, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out who Chrysler was marketing this car to. I mean, who was your intended buyer? You're going to pay an extra $1,600 for a designer edition that doesn't let you choose your color? And the only selling point is it's named after Old Blue Eyes, and it comes with some of his cassettes? You can buy a lot of cassettes for $1,600. Maybe they were going for Seto Kaiba, I don't know. It's about all I can think of who would buy it. It's just one of those cars that's so weird, so rare, and just a heck of a lot of fun. The lines of it are reminiscent to the Fox body Mustang with the rear end of a bustleback Cadillac Seville, and amazingly a lower drag coefficient than the Corvette of the year. These saw some NASCAR use, but it was very short-lived. But now, they stand out as unique examples of what was a car that was ahead of its time, but a massive failure. The fuel injection system on it was such a nightmare that the factory solution was restore it to a carburetor. And it was rumored to have cost Chrysler $5,000 per car to do so. Again, can't exactly figure out who they were going for, but considering I paid $600 for this car, and after about a week or two of tinkering, I got it to the point where it runs and drives, just needs some brake work, I'm not displeased. I get to live now like an elderly man in Boca Raton who decided that he was going to go out and buy a car named after his favorite crooner.